All right, so for our lesson today, we're going to talk about characters, setting, and major events. So who here can tell me what characters are in a story? Okay, great. Yeah, characters are the people, or in some cases, the animals in a story. Can anybody tell me what the setting is in a story? All right, yes. The setting in a story is where the story takes place. This can be a specific place or it can just be a time. Okay, and then can anybody give me an example of characters or setting in a story? Okay, like in Cinderella. Cinderella is a character, and a setting can be in Cinderella's home or in the castle where the ball is and where the prince is. And then, can anybody tell me what major events are in a story? Okay, yeah, major events are important or essential events in a story. And it's really just anything big that happens in a story. So we were using the example Cinderella before, and so major events in Cinderella would be her doing chores around the house and being yelled at by her stepmother and her stepsisters, her going to the ball dressed as a beautiful princess, her running from the ball and losing her glass slipper, and then having Prince Charming coming looking after her with the glass slipper, and then they run away and they're happily ever after. Okay, so today we're going to focus on the Three Little Pigs here, and I know you can't really see it on the screen, but we're going to read it with our individual. We're going to read it on our smart board here. That way you can see all the illustrations and all the words, and you can follow along a little bit better. So, the Three Little Pigs. Here's a picture of Mama Pig crying, and then she's got the baby pigs down here. It says, "Once upon a time, there was a mother pig who had 3 little pigs. When they grew big enough, they had to leave home. 'Take care,' said their mother, drying her tears. 'There is a big, bad wolf living in the forest.' 'Nonsense,' said the "Who should be afraid of the wolf?' said the little pigs, swelling with pride." And there's a picture of the wolf watching the pigs. It says, "The big bad wolf really did live in the forest and was very happy to hear that the 3 little pigs had left their home. Ha ha ha," he laughed. "I can't wait to lay my paws on those sweet, naive little pigs." The pig named Florian loved flowers. When the 3 little pigs came to the flowery meadow, Florian said, "I will make my little house right here." As a peasant carrying a bundle of straw was passing by, Florian bought some straw from him. The brothers said, "But Florian, the house made of straw is not firm enough. The wolf could blow it down." "Nonsense! Who should be afraid of the wolf?" answered Florian, and carried on carelessly, enjoying the sweet smell of the meadow flowers. The 2 pigs went on. The night fell. Little stars shone in the sky. Florian was enjoying this sweet-smelling night, happy that he had built his little house so fast. Just as he was preparing to go to sleep, the big bad wolf showed up in front of his little house and said, "Little pig, sweet little pig, let me come in." Florian answered, "I am not crazy. I am not letting you in. No, no, by the hair on my chinny chin chin. Go back into the forest where you came from." The wolf said, "If you don't let me in, I will huff and puff, and I will blow your house in." "Ha, ha, ha," laughed Florian and started singing, "Nonsense! Who should be afraid of the wolf?" The wolf huffed and puffed and puffed and huffed and puffed away the little house made of straw. Florian ran into the night. And what happened to the other two little pigs? After a few hours of walking, Sebastian, the second little pig, became very tired. "I can't go on. I will lay down for a little while here. I will rest on this pile of sticks," said Sebastian. No, actually, I will not rest on them. I will use them to make a little house." Pablo, the third little pig, said, "But Sebastian, a house made of sticks is not firm enough. The wolf could blow it down." "Nonsense! Who should be afraid of the wolf?" answered Sebastian, and started building his little house to get some rest as soon as possible. Pablo went on. Just when Sebastian finished his little house, Florian came running from the forest. "Quickly, quickly! Let's get into the house. The big bad wolf is coming," he said, catching his breath. So Florian and Sebastian entered the house. Just a little time passed by, and the big bad wolf came from the forest. "Little pigs, sweet little pigs, let me come in. If you don't let me in, I will huff, and I will puff, and I will blow your house in." Florian said, "I am not letting you in. No, by the hair on my chinny chin. Maybe you could have puffed away the little house made of straw, but this one's made of sticks and it is firm. Go back to your forest." The wolf puffed once, and the house was still standing. "Ha, ha, ha! Didn't we tell you that this little house made of sticks is firm?" the pigs laughed. The wolf took a deep breath and huffed and puffed and blew the little house away. The two little pigs ran away as fast as they could. And what about Pablo? Pablo walked for 2 whole days, and then he came across a peasant who was selling bricks. There's him building with his bricks, and the wolf watching him. He bought some bricks and started building his own little house. He built it for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and then he finally finished it. "Now I can, after all, paint in peace in my own little house," thought Pablo. That is to say, Pablo was a painter and he longed for some peace and quiet. Just as he was getting ready to enter his little house, Florian and Sebastian came running breathlessly and, catching their breath, said, "Quickly, quickly, into the house! The big bad wolf is chasing us for days!" They went into the little house, and before long the big bad wolf showed up in front of the little house. "Little pigs, sweet little pigs, let me come in, or I will puff your little house away." Florian, Sebastian, and Pablo said, "We are not letting you in. No, by the hair on our chinny chins. Maybe you could have puffed away the little house made of straw and sticks, but you will never puff this one away. Go back to your forest." The wolf puffed once, and the little house was still standing. The wolf huffed and puffed and blew, and did it twice, and the little house was still standing. The wolf huffed and puffed and blew 3 times, and the little house was still standing. "Now I am really angry," said the wolf. He took a huge breath and puffed and huffed and huffed and puffed as hard as he could, but he could blow nothing away, and the 3 little pigs went happily to sleep. There's a little pig sleeping. The wolf walked around the house all night, thinking how to get to the little pigs, and he thought of a plan. He would go through the chimney. Suddenly, 3 little pigs heard some noise coming from the roof, and when they looked out, they saw the wolf getting ready to come into the house through the chimney. There's a wolf in a pot, a boiling pot. Pablo said, "Quickly, let's hang on a pot of hot water under the chimney. Luckily, the wolf wasn't very good at climbing, and Little Pigs had enough time to boil the water. The wolf jumped through the chimney, fell straight into the hot water, and burned his tail terribly. Little Pigs opened the door, and the wolf ran into the forest as fast as he could. What happened next? 3 little pigs lived together for some time, but Pablo couldn't paint in peace, so he told his brothers that it was time for them to build their own houses. Very soon, Florian and Sebastian built their own little houses, but this time they didn't make the same mistakes. They built firm houses made of brick. And what happened to the wolf? Some say he is still running around the forest, cooling his tail, but one thing is certain: he will never again think of coming into other animals' little houses. The end. All right. So when we talked about characters and setting in our major events earlier, how can we apply this to our Little Pig story? Who can tell me who the main characters are in the 3 Little Pigs? Yes, we have Mama Pig in the beginning, and then we have the 3 Little Pigs, and then we have the Big Bad Wolf. So those are probably our main characters there. And who can tell me what the setting is for the 3 Little Pigs? Great, yes. The setting would be the forest, and there was first the meadow where Florian set up his straw house, and then but it's mostly just the forest. So we could just say the setting of the 3 Little Pigs was the forest. Okay, now who can help me recount the major events from the 3 Little Pigs? Okay, yeah. So first, we have the 3 Little Pigs leaving home. And then next we have them walking through the meadow where Florian stops to make his straw house. And then third, we have the wolf huffing and puffing and blowing down the straw house, but that can be kind of lumped in with the second major event there. And then next we have Sebastian stopping to make his stick house, and then the wolf coming, or Florian running into Sebastian's home, and the wolf following to blow down the stick house also. And then next we have Pablo, who has stopped and built his brick home. And next we have Florian and Sebastian running into Pablo's home with the wolf chasing. And then with that, we also have the wolf chasing them, and he tries to blow down the brick house, and it doesn't work. And so then we have the wolf climbing up on the roof, trying to get through the chimney, and the 3 Little Pigs setting up a boiling pot of water that the wolf climbs into. So when we make our timelines, we're going to put all of our major events on the timeline in the correct order of the story, and we could be able to lump some things together. That way we don't have a huge timeline, but mostly we want to incorporate all of those major events. So get together in your small groups, talk about what you want to draw together, and then get out your crayons, color pencils, or markers, and really get creative. I want to see everyone participate in this. And then once we finish drawing and making up our timelines, which should have no words, just pictures, I want each group to individually present their timeline to the whole class, telling what happened in their own words, and I want everybody to be able to participate in that. Okay, so let's get started.